Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the May 19th, 2015 regular meeting of the Piqua City Commission. I would ask that you all would check and make sure your cell phones are turned completely off, as it might interfere with our broadcast signal. And then please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Fess.
Here.
Commissioner Martin.
Here.
Commissioner Vogt.
Here.
Commissioner Terry.
Here.
Commissioner Wilson.
Here.
For our first order of business tonight, I have a proclamation that I would like to present to Clifford Alexander. Cliff, if you'll join me at the podium, please. I'm also going to ask for Joyce to come up, and Mimi and John, please, come up and stand with your dad and your husband. You've all been along for this ride, so that's... Cliff, you know, you've been a special friend for almost 65 years. And,
You're giving away our age.
well, that's true, too. But that's all right, because they're going to find out real soon what your age is anyway. But anyway... We've watched you through the years, you and your family, Joyce and the others, and it's very difficult to look anywhere in the city of Piqua and not find your footprint there. Whether it be your initial gift of the Fort Piqua Hotel that enabled us to begin planning for that, whether it's Alexander Stadium, Craix, looking around, and least of all, or not least of all, is almost 10,000 scholarships that you have provided for Piqua college-bound students. 70 a year for 33 years times 4 is almost 10,000, and that's pretty amazing. So I know that this is a special week, and tomorrow is a very special day for you, as tomorrow is Cliff's 80th birthday. And So we're here tonight to honor that and to honor Cliff for all that he's done for our community. And I'd like to do that by reading this proclamation. Whereas 80 years ago, on May 20th, 1935, the city of Piqua was blessed with the birth of Clifford Ray Alexander Jr. into its population. And whereas following his graduation from Piqua Central High School in 1952, Cliff attended Miami University, graduating in 1956, where you roomed with my husband. And whereas Cliff married Joyce McDonald Alexander, and together they raised 2 wonderful children, John Alexander and Mimi Alexander Crawford. And whereas Cliff founded Craix Corporation in 1972, a Piqua industry which has grown and continues to thrive. And whereas Cliff's passion for education has led him to provide countless scholarships to college-bound Piqua students, and his generosity to the Piqua City Schools enabled the establishment of Alexander Stadium. And whereas Cliff's support of higher education is evidenced by his many contributions to the Ohio State University and to his alma mater, Miami University, where his endowment resulted in the Cliff Alexander Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life and Leadership. And whereas Cliff's sense of civic pride, his leadership ability, and his philanthropic gifts have enriched the efforts of many organizations throughout the Miami Valley. And whereas Cliff is a loyal and loving humanitarian, always seeking to enrich the lives of others. And whereas today we gather to celebrate the fact that Clifford Ray Alexander Jr. has graced those around him with 80 years of life, spirit, and joy. Let it be known that I, as mayor of the city of Piqua, do by the power granted me through my election to this office, declare Wednesday, May 20th, 2015, as Clifford Ray Alexander Jr. Day in the city of Piqua, and request all friends and citizens to respect and honor this remarkable man. It's signed by me and contains the seal of the city of Piqua.
Very much.
You're welcome. Okay. We'll see you later. We have some other Piqua residents that we'd like to recognize now, and these are our quarterly winners of the Spring Resident Pride Awards. And if any of you are here and would like to come forward, we would welcome you. Cindy and Chris Brown at 503 North Parkway Drive. We should have a picture here in a minute. There we go. Robert D. Godsey Jr. at 929 Camp Street. Paula and Rick Monin at 222 Walker Street. Chad Spruance at 324 West Ash Street. And Sue Teach at 510 North Wayne Street. We'd like to congratulate all our Residents' Pride winners and thank them for their efforts in maintaining their homes in such a lovely way that it would make our city look better, and we encourage other people to do the same. And if you have someone in your neighborhood or someone that you know who has a lovely home that you think deserves a Residents' Pride Award, there will be a sign in their yards for a month. And we would ask that you stop in City Hall or call or go online and fill out an application, and our committee will then judge and find those people for the next quarter. So thank you. I skipped here. We have an update this evening from the Piqua Parks, Friends of the Piqua Park, Ruth Kuhn. Thanks, Cindy.
Good evening, and thank you for having me this evening. I just want to also add something about Cliff Alexander that Lucy mentioned. Had it not been for Cliff Alexander and his vision to purchase the Fort Piqua Hotel and donate it to the city for safekeeping, we would not be where we are with our beautiful, restored Fort Piqua Plaza. So thank you, Cliff.
Yeah.
I am here representing the Friends of the Piqua Parks, and I just want to give you a little bit of an update about some wonderful news we have for you this evening. Just to give you a little bit of a background, we were founded in March of 2013 as a tax-exempt organization. Our organization was founded for the purpose of establishing a community support association for the benefit of the public park system located within our city. And I certainly want to mention the members of our organization because they've worked very, very hard to come to where we are today. This evening, Edna Stiffel is here. She is the vice president. Chuck Peltier is here. He's the treasurer. Don Smith is the secretary. Glenn Devers, Ian Comer, Commissioner Bill Vogt. Brian Burkhardt is here this evening also. And Nikki Reese is the newest member because she is the city development program manager. A fundraiser was started in early 2014 to improve Pittsburgher Sports Complex. Phase 1 included new landscaping, new signage, a lighted flagpole with American flag to improve the entrance to the park on McKinley Avenue. There would also be a new sign added on South Street, and there would also be another sign on South Street. So we look forward to the city completing those signs in the near future. In late 2014, that phase of the project was completed thanks to the Piqua Community Foundation, clubs, businesses, and many individuals who donated to the project. We'd like to thank particularly the Rotary Club of Piqua for donating the flagpole with the American flag. A plaque for this donation will be placed by the end of May in that location. We raised over $14,000 for this phase of improvements to Pittsburgh Sports Complex. We did plan all of the landscaping, however, around the possibility of adding a statue of William H. Pitzenbarger, our Congressional Medal of Honor recipient, at the entrance to the park. A fundraiser for such a statue began in the fall of 2014, and this was to add a statue of William H. Pitzenbarger to the entrance to the park. As a little update I want to tell you a little bit about Pitzenbarger because I think he deserves this recognition. Pitzenbarger was born and raised in Piqua and was the only child of Alice and Frank Pitzenbarger. He graduated from Piqua Central High School in 1962. I think Cliff graduated in 1952, didn't he? 1962. The class of 1962 was added to our committee as honorary members for this portion of the fundraiser. Pitzenbarger worked at our local Kroger store during high school, along with Jim Grissom and Commissioner Bill Vogt and Judy Mextroff. He was known as a pleasant, friendly, and caring person by his classmates and his fellow employees. He wanted to quit high school and join the Air Force, but was persuaded by his father to wait until after graduation. After graduation, he indeed did join the Air Force and became a pararescue and medical specialist. On April the 11th, 1966, at his own request, he descended into the dense jungle of Vietnam to aid his wounded comrades. He unselfishly refused to evacuate and that day saved the lives of 9 soldiers, but later was fatally shot and died on the battlefield. He would have celebrated his 22nd birthday in July of that year. Of the 130 soldiers who began the battle, only 30 survived. Pitzenbarger was awarded the Air Force Cross for his heroism. However, Pitzenbarger's father, along with battle survivors, friends, and classmates, worked to compile more comprehensive information that led to the approval by Congress for the upgrade to the Congressional Medal of Honor in October of 2000. This is also so very interesting. More than a dozen facilities around the world are named after him. He is named on the Air Force Memorial in Washington, D.C. for his courage, valor, and sacrifice. The dining hall at Wright-Patterson is named after him, and the Air Force Museum has a display about his heroism. His classmates convinced the city of Piqua to rename our largest park after him, Pitzenbarger Park, or Pitzenbarger Sports Complex. It was originally known as Eisenhower Park. Today, it is with great pride that I announce we have reached our goal of almost $90,000 to build a statue of William H. Pitzenbarger in Pitzenbarger Sports Complex.
I think we need
Mike Major will be the sculptor for the statue, and I just heard from him this morning that a clay model will be ready in early June for our critique. At that time, we plan to have some friends and classmates view the model to suggest any changes. Mike did say that he has a confirmation from the foundry that the statue will be ready by early November 2015. The statue will be on a 15-foot diameter base, 2 steps, a granite pedestal of 3 feet, and then a 6-foot statue of Pitzenbarger. It will be likened to our Gentili statue in downtown Piqua. I can't begin to name all of the donors who made this possible, but I would like to name a few. Hearts of Propeller, Jim and Joe Brown, the Miami County Foundation, Rich Donnelly, the Piqua Community Foundation, Duke Foundation, Lundgaard Foundation, the Bike Fest Committee. How wonderful they were last year for their first outing. They gave back to the community their profits and gave us $4,000 towards our statue. We'd also like to thank the classmates from his class of 1962. We will be in contact with Wright-Patterson and representatives throughout Ohio about our plans. The community rallied around this project to honor one of our country's greatest heroes and our hometown hero, William H. Pitzenbarger. This statue is to be completed by Veterans Day of 2015, and we're looking forward to a grand celebration.
Thank you, Ruth, and thank you
Thank
for
you.
your leadership on this project. I know.
Thank you.
It's been a long time coming, but we appreciate the fact that you've done this, and I think it's going to be wonderful. And congratulations on reaching
Thank you, but
your
there was
goal.
a lot of effort on a lot of people, but I think it's wonderful that Piqua will finally have a statue of one of our country's greatest heroes.
I agree wholeheartedly. And I think we'll give a nod to Dave Lett, who was president of the chamber at the time.
Yes.
And he was very involved in beginning to look for getting that upgrade on to the
And I
Medal of
think he
Honor.
was at the helm when they renamed maybe Pittsburgh Park Sports Complex.
Just wanted to mention that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Moving now to our regular agenda. First item is the consent agenda. It's the approval of the minutes of the May 5th, 2015 regular meeting.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify stating aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Consent agenda has been approved. Moving to old business, ordinance number 5-15. This is the third reading.
An ordinance amending Section 94.23I relating to curfew and prohibitions on the use of parks and gazebo.
I'd like to move we table ordinance number 5-15.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt, or to table ordinance number 5-15. We've had much controversy on this ordinance, and I think we want to put it down so that we can go back and do more research on it. So I would ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Commissioner Terry,
Aye.
Mayor Fess,
Aye.
Commissioner Martin,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Ordinance number 5-15 has been tabled indefinitely. Ordinance number 6-15, also a third reading.
An ordinance amending Sections 154.027 of the City of Piqua Code of Ordinances to allow a place of worship in an I-1 light industrial zoning district.
Thank you. This item was presented to the Planning Commission in response to a request from the property owner located at 8654 County Road 25A in Piqua. The owner desires to lease the property to a place of worship, and currently that is not available based on the current zoning ordinance. In reviewing this request, the Planning Commission concluded that it would be prudent to include such a change to the ordinance to allow the place of worship as a principal permitted use in the I-1 light industrial zoning district. They also heard no objections to the owner's request from the public or otherwise concerning the proposed amendment change.
Thank you, Cindy. I just might mention too, Cindy Holzapfel, our Finance Director, Assistant City Manager, is filling in for our Gary Huff this evening as Gary's out of town on personal family business. So thank you. Commissioners, any comments on this ordinance? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment?
I move to adopt ordinance number 6-15.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 6-15. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak to this? If not, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Vogt,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry,
Aye.
Mayor Fess,
Aye.
Commissioner Martin,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson.
Aye.
Ordinance number 6-15 has been adopted. New business, resolution number R-64-15.
A resolution requesting authorization to purchase a Deming pump for the wastewater treatment plant from Excel Fluid Group, LLC.
Dave Davis, the wastewater superintendent, will be presenting the staff report tonight.
Thank you, Cindy. In late 2014, we found that number one screw pump at the wastewater plant had some significant damage. And I've got some pictures in the packet that show that damage, and we'll look at that in a few minutes. The repair on this is well beyond the scope of what our maintenance group can take care of. So I went out and price quoted a repair for this pump. And along with that, they suggested that we remove the pump, send it back to Georgia to be repaired so that it would be repaired correctly. They did quote us a repair at the wastewater plant, but they do not guarantee that repair. The one in Georgia would have been warranted for 1 year. So with that, we kind of took a step back and looked at some other options. This screw pump will be taken out of commission when we build the new wastewater plant down at the plant. The drainage pump, which is a backup to the screw pumps, is going to continue to stay into operation. So we looked at that option and contacted Crane Pumps to kind of take a look at this option and see if they could help us out. In turn, they gave us a price quote through XL Fluid Handling, which is their representative that sells their products. I'll revert now to the slides that I brought with me tonight. And on this slide, you can see the cost comparison between the two options. The drainage pump, or number one screw pump, the cost for the repair would be $33,450. Estimated cost, which was just a quote by the Piqua Steel and Crane, to remove that pump, put it on a truck and ship it out of Piqua to Georgia, and then of course return route coming back and reinstalling the pump for us. That cost that you see, the $68,320, does not reflect a cost that would also come into play for the representative from Evoqua Water to help us make sure that this gets removed correctly and that no damage is done to it. So then you'll see below that is the quote for the number 3 drainage pump, and that's $26,825, and then also the cost for the installation, totaling $45,555. This is just a copy of the quote that's also in your packet. With the Deming pump comes a 24-month warranty and 1-year warranty on the install. The screw pump repair, like I said, only came with a 1-year warranty. And this is the quote from Evoqua Water to repair that. And of course, the Piqua Steel Company, crane and rigging for the removal, that $17,000 is for both directions, for taking out and putting it back in. This is a picture of the 3 screw pumps at the wastewater plant. Number 1, you can see, does not have the ring attached to it. We've torn it down to this point so that we could get a good look at it. These are the 3 issues that we have in question. These blocks are where a major ring attaches to this unit, and you can see the stress fractures in the outer skin of the screw pump. They can weld these, but when they go to weld this, those blocks are going to move, and there's no way to guarantee that the steel ring will go back on the pump. So that's why they wouldn't guarantee doing the repair at the plant. This is number 3 drainage pump that we're looking to replace. It will continue into operation after the new plant is built because it is the drainage side of the plant. So any of the tanks in the current plant that are going to stay in service have to drain back to these pumps. So this will be the option that we're looking to go to. And this is the pump in question that we're going to replace. This letter here is a letter from Glenn Vonderems from the Ohio EPA. We sit down and have had a discussion with them, and believe it or not, in one section of this email, it says economically sensible from the EPA. So I think we better run with that.
I think so
Thanks,
too.
Gary.
And we're looking forward to doing some work with Deming and crane pumps. They sent an engineer over to take a look at our application, and they were real enthusiastic about putting their pump in place.
Good, good. Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
Commissioners, do you have any questions for Dave?
Were there any other quotes on the new pump besides this one?
No, I only went to the manufacturer for the Evoqua quote.
Okay.
Because they're the only ones that can work on it.
Okay.
Anything else?
How many gallons of flow does a screw pump provide?
It can pump 4.2 million gallons a day. I don't
Okay.
have it calculated out to the gallons per minute.
How much can this other one pump a day?
This other one will pump just slightly below that, but EPA was okay with that as a backup because there is a second pump in line that goes on after that number 1 or number 3 drainage pump that will also make up the difference.
Okay. All right.
Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this resolution? If not, do I have a motion?
I move we approve resolution number R-84-15.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt resolution number R-84-15. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Commissioner Vogt,
Aye.
Mayor Fess,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry,
Aye.
Commissioner Martin.
Aye.
Resolution number R-84-15 has been adopted. Resolution number R-85-15.
A resolution awarding a contract to Actels Incorporated for the Piqua Airport, Hartsel Field, crack seal and remarking project.
Yes, tonight Amy Havener, our city engineer, will be providing her staff report.
Thank you, Cindy. Last year, we secured a grant from the Ohio Department of Transportation, the Department of Aviation, for this work. So earlier this year, we went out and started the design work and completed the design and the construction documents. And just recently, we went out to bid for this project. Bids came in May 7th. We received 5 bids, and that they are attached as Exhibit A. This would be for the pavement marking and the crack sealing of the taxiway, the runway, and the aprons. And we are recommending to go with Axtel Inc., which was the low bidder on the bids we received.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. Commissioners, questions for Amy?
I'm amazed at the difference in the one price to the other. I mean, it's almost 3 times higher. What do we attribute that to?
We called the references on this one. We honestly, we don't know, because the one that bid the highest, he actually did come up to the airport and walk through it with us, but we have no idea. I mean, because this is in line, I mean, the first 3 weren't that far apart, so we did a reference check. We'd have no reason to, we've even contacted Axtel and asked them, you know, are you comfortable with your bid? And they said yes, so. We're excited because we did bid an alternate bid to have the apron and the taxiways, and this bid allows us to complete everything out there.
That's great.
So we got a bargain, Judy.
Amazing.
Anyone else? Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this resolution?
Nick Alexander, 713 Roosevelt. I'm just curious, who owns the airport again?
The
City owns.
city owns the airport.
Okay, for some reason I thought it was owned by Hartsel, then leased to the city, but
They
it's
pretty
the
much
opposite of that?
manage it. They manage it, but
Okay,
owns it. Yeah.
I was curious of why it would be the city's thing if it was Hartsel's. I just wanted to double check the ownership on that.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Anyone else? If not, could I have a motion, please?
Move to adopt resolution R86-15.
Second.
Moved and
Oh,
seconded.
I'm sorry. I think I gave you the wrong
85,
number.
Judy.
85.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt resolution number R-85-15. Would the clerk call the roll?
Commissioner Martin,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt,
Aye.
Mayor Fess,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson.
Aye.
Resolution number R-85-15 is adopted. Amended resolution number R-66-15.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a lease agreement to permit the usage of a portion of Fountain Park Enhanced Pavilion to the Miami Valley Corvette Club.
Yes, the Miami Valley Corvette Club would like to host a car show at Fountain Park. This event will be open to the public, and the display area will primarily occupy the shaded grassy area between the dining hall and the Hans Pavilion. This event will be essentially the same as it was in the past. However, there will be no musical entertainment this year. The lease would be for $1, and the insurance confirmation has been received.
Commissioners, any questions? Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this resolution? If not, could I have a motion?
Move to adopt resolution number R-86-15.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt amended resolution number R-86-15. Clerk, call the roll.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry,
Aye.
Commissioner Martin,
Aye.
Mayor Fess,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
Amended resolution number R-86-15 has been adopted. Resolution number R-87-15.
A resolution awarding a contract to Western Ohio Asphalt Sealing for the repairs, crack filling, sealing, and pavement marking for the municipal government complex parking lot.
Yes, Bob Grazer, our project manager, will be sharing information on this resolution tonight.
Thank you, Cindy. We have recently gone out to bid for these repairs. It includes doing the repairs to the catch basins, repairing all the cracks, crack filling, and then sealing the complete lot, as well as doing pavement markings through the whole parking lot. This work shows, according to the bid tabulation that we have, that we got the option to do it during the weekend when our traffic is at its lowest. Hopefully we can get it done. What we'll do is the largest portion of all the repairs one weekend, and then the following after that we'll do the rest to do the sealing and the pavement marking, so it's low impact on the city building.
Thank you, Bob. Commissioners, you have any questions?
There is a area by the utility drop-off that pools with water every time it rains. Can we address that while we're doing this?
It's addressed in the work to be done.
Oh, great. Great, perfect. Okay.
Anything else, commissioners? Anyone in the audience?
Nick Alexander again. I'm just curious why the pavement markings wouldn't be done in-house. Is there savings in doing that in the bundle, or does the city not have the ability to?
So you want to know why we aren't
pavement
doing
marking-
that,
yeah,
the
just
markings?
the pavement markings in
And
particular.
Amy, can you address that? Is there a savings in having it done outside?
We just don't have, we don't do a lot of our pavement markings ourselves. We hire our long line pavement markings out. We hire for our resurfacing. We don't have the manpower or the expertise to do that. So we want it to look nice when it's done. We do have some equipment that we do just immediate repairs, but for this, obviously a contractor can do it cheaper and quicker than we could if we tried to get to it. And we want to make sure we're on the same time schedule as well. So when they're done paving, we're going to follow it up with pavement markings, so we're not stretching this out, because it will be an inconvenience to the public that uses our facility.
Thank you, Amy. Anyone else? If not, can I have the motion, please?
Move to adopt resolution R-87-15.
Second.
Moved and seconded to adopt resolution number R-87-15. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Commissioner Terry,
Aye.
Commissioner Martin,
Aye.
Mayor Fess,
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson.
Aye.
Resolution number R-87-15. And resolution number R-88-15.
A resolution awarding a contract to L.J. DeWeese for the West Interceptor to the Echo Lake project.
Yes, Devin Alexander, our stormwater coordinator, will present the staff report tonight.
Thank you. Tonight, we're looking for the awarding of this resolution to L.J. DeWeese Construction Company for the long-awaited commencement of the work to be done on the West Interceptor ditch on the west side of Piqua. off of Sunset Drive. The good news is we budgeted $240,000 for the project, and the engineer's estimate was $234,000. The low bidder, which was LJ DeWeese, came in at just right above $209,000. And with the 10% contingency, still puts them below the engineer's estimate. So the total would be $230,830. With the approval of this, the work would commence on June 3rd. It will be to vacate a pre-existing ditch, roughly about 800 feet, and then alongside of that ditch, putting in a new stormwater 36-inch pipe to alleviate the erosion issue that we are having in that area.
Thank you, Devin. Commissioners,
How
questions?
much water flows through that ditch?
There is not a calculated gallon, a gallon amount that we know of that goes through it, so I cannot give you a direct amount.
I imagine it's light when there's no rain. It gets really heavy when there is.
No, when there's no rain, it is a trickling stream. But as soon as a rain flow or a heavy rain event happens, it does turn into what could be compared to a raging river. Let's say we get a lot of rain runoff from the western fields on the west end of Piqua, as well as there is a lot of runoff coming from the Deerfield and the Eagles Nest neighborhood, which do contribute into that.
So do you think this raging river is going to fit in a 36-inch pipe and not cause backups?
We specifically hired an engineering firm who specializes in this type of work. We are confident in their design that it will suffice what we need it to do.
Okay.
If it don't work, will they replace it with a bigger one?
I don't believe that would be on their.
Should be in the paperwork since they designed it and said it was going to be okay.
Well, like I said, we put our confidence in them based upon that their firm has expertise in this and that it will work correctly.
I think a 48-inch would work better according to my figures, but who am I?
Do we have a safety factor in that 36 size?
As far as what are you referring to as a safety factor?
In other words, do we really need 24 and we're upgrading to 36 as a safety factor?
The engineering firm did modeling, water flow modeling on the pipe and the amount of flow based upon a certain size storm, and a 36-inch just fit into a 100-year rain event storm. So it is engineered and designed to be adequate for the amount of flow that would come from a 100-year storm.
Okay.
Thank you, Devin. Anyone have other questions for Devin? Anyone in the audience wish to address this resolution? If not, could I have a motion, please?
Move to adopt resolution R-88-15.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded to adopt resolution number 88-15. Would the clerk call the roll, please?
Commissioner Vogt,
Aye.
Mayor Fess,
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson,
Aye.
Commissioner Martin,
Aye.
Commissioner Terry.
Aye.
Resolution number R-88-15 has been adopted. That brings us to the end of the new business portion of our agenda. We'll now go to the audience for public comment. Anyone wishing to address the commission, please step to the center of the room to the podium and state your name and address and your comments, please.
My name's Levi Harrison, and I live on.
Could you speak a little louder, please?
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Nope, that's fine. Yeah.
Well, I live on 324 Kemp Street, and I don't know if you have heard, there is a community service going on the 23rd for cleanup and repainting of the gazebo, and I'm having me and my friends cleaning it, and we were I'm not very good at speech.
You're doing fine. You're doing just fine. It's not easy. Just take a deep breath.
But I was just wondering if y'all actually want to come.
And when is that again?
23rd on
May the 23rd?
this coming Saturday,
Okay, at what time, please?
11 to 12.
11 to 12. And you and your friends are going to paint and clean up the gazebo?
Yep.
Tell them how you decided to do this.
Yeah.
Well, this mister over here
This
Didn't know
Mr. Wilson?
Didn't know who he was.
Commissioner Wilson?
I talk to everyone, so I'm one nice person. And he comes up, he was asking me my opinions of stuff, and I said I wish I was allowed to repaint the gazebo. And all of a sudden, 2 days later, he's like, "You got a bunch of people that would paint?" I said, "Yeah, I have a lot of friends that would join into it." And so far, this is what's going on.
Well, that's wonderful. We appreciate that. And Joe, you want to
Yeah,
comment?
it was funny because we were talking about the situation in the square in general, and he brought up the fact that he would like to get a group to paint the gazebo to cover the graffiti. He said, but he didn't have the money to do it. I said, well, you call your friends, I'll get the money. And so I called Gary, and of course, we got the paint and everything going. And then he started getting return messages from his friends, and he's telling me maybe 30. Is that what you think?
Maybe more now, because I've been going around inviting other people, other kids.
So anyway,
that I don't know. that are good
so we
people.
started talking about that. If we have 30 of his friends plus some adults there, to be sure they, paint between the lines.
We do have to repair one thing. There is a missing wooden stick between the ledge. That is not
Well,
there.
I don't know what we can get done with that, but.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
So anyway, we started talking about, with him bringing all his friends and a few of my friends, that we may need another project because 30 people with paintbrushes might be a little scary. So he suggested that we go over to Lock 9. So that's what we're going to do. If we get the turnout that we hope we get, we're going to go to Lock 9. We're going to have a dump truck there with mulch from the city. We'll have some brooms. We're going to clean up. We're going to mulch. We're going to weed, and it's going to be fun, I think. And this is just like the first step of reaching out to some of the people who do go to the square. And again, they're not all bad kids, and he's not a kid, and he's not bad either. So, but we're gonna start to prove that some of the people who do like to go there do have good intentions and are willing to prove it, and they're going to prove it this Saturday. And we've got some other community members like Casey and some other people who are going to join us. And I think it's kind of the first step of not only making some good contacts, but some other projects.
Building a bridge, yeah.
And we've talked about some other things to do down the road. And so we'll see how well we paint first, right?
Yeah.
And we'll go from there. But I think it's a great first step. And I even checked the weather, and it's looking good.
Just hopefully it doesn't rain.
No, it's good. I already checked it. No
then
problem.
there would be no purpose to paint.
No problem.
Could you state your name again, please? I didn't get that.
Harrison.
Pardon me?
Levi Harrison.
Levi Harrison?
Yeah.
Levi, I think this is a great thing that you've volunteered to do, and we certainly do appreciate it. And tell your friends we appreciate them, and we'll try to stop by and take a look.
Well, I actually, after this, I want to plan on some other stuff, and I actually got another idea for the bridge that's down close to Bennett. That's all trashed and graffitied. I was also thinking about that. I was going to talk to you
Well,
about that.
you just hang with Commissioner Wilson. He'll come up with money for you to do.
We'll keep you busy, and I think a little later we maybe got some other plans relating to this, something we'll talk about. But this is a really good step, and again, it's all Levi's idea, and of course the city is providing all the equipment, the paint, and all that. And if you've gone up to see all the graffiti, I'm really happy to cover all that up. So.
Well, Levi, if we get 30 more like you, I think we'll be in really good hands.
They don't look like they don't.
Thank you very much.
Nice job.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
That's a good
luck.
speech, Levi.
Yeah,
good job,
you did
Levi.
fine.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I just want to piggyback on what Levi said. Citizens for a Better Piqua have journeyed together and have adopted the park down near the gazebo, and we plan to be there on Saturday along with the Salvation Army, bringing food and water and a variety of things to work with these young people. I had all sorts of things prepared to say tonight, not on behalf of the Citizens for a Better Piqua, not even on behalf of my position as a pastor, but as a citizen here in our community. Our community group was very divided on this issue, as many of us have been here in the community, and it was a hard thing to look at. But I think when you get to know people and you get to have relationships with people and know them by name, as we went down there and I went down there to hang out with them, things start to change. And I'm really excited about the possibilities of where this can lead us as a community, as we work together and as we bond together and as we really listen. Because the one thing that I have heard as I have gone down to talk to Levi and have to talk to other people there, they have some needs. They have some things that we are not addressing as a community. And as a person of faith, I know that I am here and God put me here to make the world a better place. And I think we all want that for our community. And all of us want to be loved, all of us want to be accepted. And these young children down there, Levi's and so many others that are down there, are seeking just that. So I hope and pray that as a committee, we can continue to journey together and continue to find solutions to provide places for these young people to go, to feel loved, accepted, and most importantly, safe. So thank you.
Thank you, Casey, and thank you again. And Casey, thank you for your leadership with that group. We appreciate it very much.
My name's Bradley Bering on 128 Mount Street, and boy, am I glad to be a citizen of Piqua tonight, seeing what I'm seeing. Kids and adults coming together to make this community better. I can't be more proud of Levi and Casey and Joe and people from the Salvation Army. And trust me, if I didn't have to, I have not met them yet. And trust me, if I didn't have to work a 9-hour shift out at Home Depot Saturday morning, my behind would be down there helping them out. But I have to work Saturday morning, so I can't be there, or I would. And I have to tell you, folks, something. I was ready and quite ready to fight this ordinance if it had passed. In fact, I even have here petition papers I had drawn up to submit this to the voters, and I'm glad that common sense has finally prevailed, and I can honestly say without a shadow of a doubt that I can get rid of these, because we don't need them. We don't need them. We've proven that we can work together, and if there's anything I can do personally to help the young kids of Piqua out, I'm all for it, so you can count me in.
Okay, Brad. Anyone else? Here we go.
Oh, I'm getting bald. Hello, Thomas Beck, 1507 Garfield Street. I'd just like to thank the commission for tabling the ordinance. That is the right decision. I'm not saying that there's not a problem down there. There most certainly is. I've heard from enough people to believe that there are some issues that need addressed. And some of the things I'm seeing, it's nice to see that all other avenues are being attempted and addressed before we go starting to prohibit people from using the facilities here in town. So thanks a lot there. Also, just a quick mention, hometown heroes. Every town has a bunch of them. We have Mr. Alexander, decades of service to the community. At the school, Mr. Westfall has been an inspiration to my kids. Levi, maybe he's the next generation. A young kid stepping up to clean up a problem that in many eyes were caused by his peers. Maybe his peers will think twice before they go and destroy something that their own peers have taken the time and the effort and the investment into maintaining and repairing. It's an inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Bicycle.
Jim Hemmert, 645 Boone Street. Just like to announce a couple events that are coming up, speaking of bicycles. Friday, a week from this Friday, is the Miami Valley Cycling Summit. The first one was held 6 years ago in Dayton. Second one was held 2 years ago in Springfield, and now Piqua is going to be the host. The Cycling Summit invites officials from cities, states, counties to come together and discuss bicycling. And I'm a bicyclist, but these bike paths that we have, I call them multi-use paths. I mean, I see scooters, I see buggies, I see strollers, rollerbladers, But we're going to be coming together to discuss with officials these various events. The keynote speaker is Bill Peduto, the mayor of Pittsburgh, and he has converted Pittsburgh into a very active cycling and walking community. And so we're going to learn a lot from him. And again, that's free to the public. All you have to do is register. Then on Saturday, a brand new event called Cyclovia, Encyclo. Never mind. You have to be old enough to figure that one out. The Cyclovia, I happened to be on that committee, and we had a group of people come in, and one group said, I can have a bike safety workshop, and the other said, I can have a chiropractic evaluation. The other said, I have cornhole. The other said, I can have elliptico test rides, art demonstrations, reflexology, canoeing, bicycle helmet fitting. We just kept going and going and going. And I don't know how we're going to get it all to fit, but the committee says we're going to make it. We'll make it. And lastly, on Friday, we're going to have the official unveiling of 9 new bicycle racks for the city of Piqua. The Upper Valley Career Center provided the welding and painting of these bicycle racks. SMT Industries from Sydney, Ohio, provided the fabrication. And for that, we did have a little bit of a problem in making these bike racks. And our friends down at Miami Valley Steel, Susan Curtis, found a company that would do some additional fabricating of bending the tubing. Jackson Tube and JJ Enterprises donated the materials. And I don't know how the word got out about these new bicycle racks, but people were asking, well, where do you put your bicycle wheel? These bicycle racks, oh, they're up here on the camera, are 2-dimensional. You park a bike on either side. And this, in the planning of this, we looked at city sidewalks, and to take a traditional bicycle rack and put it sideways and stack bikes in it, it takes up way too much room. And we don't anticipate that many bikes being in one location at one time. So this bicycle rack is 2-dimensional, meaning you park a bike on this side and a bike on the other side, opposite direction of handlebars. And if you're real clever, you can park 2 bikes on this side, 2 bikes on that side, and lock them together.
How do you park them, Jim?
You just, sideways,
Parallel, okay.
right, just parallel with the bike rack.
Okay.
Thank you for asking, because there was a lot of people that somehow that snuck out, and they were saying, well, where do you put the wheel?
Yes, that's what I was.
You don't. And flattery or imitation is the highest form of flattery, and Dayton, Ohio has a bike rack very similar to this, and that's through our studying, we found that the 2-dimensional bike rack takes up a heck of a lot less sidewalk room, and we have 9 of them, courtesy of all these individuals that helped us. And our committee now, after the Cycle Summit, will be the official unveiling. This is a sneak preview. We will get together and discuss the 9 more appropriate locations. You can't take your bike to Town and Country Furniture and haul the couch home. But you can go to Susie's Big Dipper and eat an ice cream cone. So we will be selecting different locations for that.
And Jim, these where can people pick these up on the site?
The city, Chris Schmeezing has a ton of these.
Okay.
And I'm sending one up to one of these and one of these up to Walk Park tonight. We're trying to get some of their officials to come down here for our Cycle Summit.
Because the events that are there, it's wonderful. It looks like a ton of fun.
Mayor, the purpose of this cyclovia is non-motorized activity. So anything that we can do to create activity, it's going to be there. It's just wonderful.
Amazing.
It is. It's amazing. Like I said, I was on that committee, and every time we had a meeting, somebody come up with another activity that we could have there.
Cindy, are there any of these downstairs on the?
I think they're located in the lobby, and if not,
In the
we'll get
lobby.
them out there starting
In the
tomorrow
lobby?
morning.
Well, I was thinking the people might want to pick one up and look at it on their way out because they really are amazing. Jim, one thing, the bicycle summit, it's not just for officials. Anyone who's interested in bicycling.
Anybody and his brother and sister can attend. It's free. And there are keynote speakers. One will be talking about the economics of bike paths and bicycling activity. Another will be talking about infrastructure. Another talking about safety. So there are 4 different main speakers that will be talking about various aspects that anybody and his brother can.
Now, I attended, I
gain
think, the
from.
one in Springfield a couple of years ago.
Yes.
You're expecting what, around 400 people?
We had a week ago 300 right on the button, and it's well over 300 attendees have registered for this event.
Wonderful. And hopefully they'll stay overnight and join in the.
Well, that was our thought with the cyclovia. We, in our registration, asked if they would like to stay overnight. And the cyclovia is going to be from noon to 5 o'clock, and it will be downtown in the quadrants. In the morning, we are planning destination rides. So if you would like to meet downtown at 8 o'clock, we will go down to the Twin Arches and the Covered Bridge, or we will go north to New Bremen to the Bicycle Museum. So we have plans for what we call destination rides.
And I think we should recognize that Mike and Elizabeth Gutman are
the co-chairs of the
co-chairs
cycle
the
event.
summit. Yes.
And they have worked very, very hard.
I'm sure. Well, it's an exciting thing, and I hope a lot of people will show up if you're a bicyclist and interested in bicycle safety.
Correct.
And how can they register for that, Jim?
You can go online under there's a website or a connection with the Piqua website.
And I just want to comment that down in the lobby, there's one of those bicycle racks sitting there, I think.
By the elevator.
By the elevator?
So that's how the
Because
word's
I saw it the
getting
other
out.
day and wondered what it was, because I thought, well, that's a nice little Piqua sign.
Well,
but I didn't-
originally, we were going to get real creative and have bicycle racks like in front of the library that looked like a stack of books. And we were going to have one down in front of Francis Office Supply that looked like paper clips. We were going to have one in front of Susie's Big Dipper that looked like an ice cream cone. And we kept thinking about it and worked it over. And this is the bike rack that will
It's very
just
attractive.
be.
I just didn't know what it was when I saw it down there. But I noticed the city manager's logo with the bicycle and the Ohio there. or
Somebody
Piqua.
gave me the suggestion that we go down to the south plant down there. There are some bicycles that have been abandoned and the city has picked up. If we take a couple of those bicycles and lock them to a bike rack, then people will get park them there for a month, maybe. Then people will get the idea
How to
of
use
what
them.
they are and how to do them,
Yeah.
how to use them.
Well, it sounds fun.
All right.
So
Thank
hopefully
you.
we'll have a big turnout. Thank you, Jim. Anyone else, please? Okay. If not, we'll move to, I want to report that the monthly reports for March 2015 are in and have been accepted. And we'll now go to the city manager's report. Cindy?
Thank you. Just real quick, we'd like to remind citizens that the city buildings will be closed on Monday, May 25th, in observance of Memorial Day, and we hope everyone has a safe and happy holiday.
Thank you. That's all. Okay, let's start tonight with Commissioner Wilson. Sounds like you've been a busy boy.
Yeah, pretty busy. Again, we're going to meet this Saturday, the 23rd, I guess between 11 and 12 now, right? Okay. And, okay. And we're going to meet at the gazebo, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's just kind of the first step. I think another thing we want to do is to encourage any groups to either go to the square, to meet at the square, to sit at the square, talk to some of these kids, try to have an input in what they're saying and see what they're up to. And if you see something that's not going on real well, you don't need to step in, but you can maybe get a hold of someone if there's any mischief going on. We do have some small group of kids who are causing the problems, and we'll deal with that as we go. But we do have a lot of other young adults there that I think is going to help us out in the long term. So we're encouraging people to meet there, or groups to meet there, or individuals to meet there, and just make a presence there as a good start. I think some meetings we've had amongst some of us in the room, we'd also like to see more police presence in that area, make more drive-bys. If you're filling out a report, go park at the square, fill it out there. Little exercise, get out of your cruiser, walk around the square. I think we need to increase our visibility there, and I think if we do have some people causing some mischief, I think the extra visibility by the police will give us a good chance to take care of that, because I don't think we're naive to think that everyone is as nice as Levi that hangs out there. So the ones that aren't as nice as Levi, I think a little more police presence will help take care of that in the future. And lastly, there's been some talk also of what's the root cause of these people at the square, and it appears that the root cause is lack of activity or boredom or those kind of things. So if that's the root cause, that seems to be what we should be looking at for down the road in the future. So as we talked about this among several people in the room, there's been talk of looking into the possibility of maybe trying to generate a youth center for the kids in town, not just for these kids here and young adults, but other children in town that could use some more activities. So I think that's a really nice thing to maybe work towards as a possible avenue for some of these youth we've got in town. And I think I like that we started the ordinance. It got us looking at the problem. It got us talking. It got a lot of people together that maybe wouldn't ordinarily be doing that. It made me go talk to Levi a few times, which I probably wouldn't have done without that ordinance, because I don't think I would have, or vice versa. So I think we've gotten a lot of good out of this, and I can't wait to see the paint on that gazebo drying here in late afternoon. So again, I hope, again, we're going to meet, I guess, there between 11 and 12 and be there a few hours. And if Levi's Army shows up like he's saying, we may be going on to other areas too. So just a good thing. And the Citizens for Better Piqua have joined in feet first. So they've, again, adopted this square, and they've got a lot of good ideas and a lot of good members. So I think we're on the right path. So I'll quit talking now. So I guess that's it.
Well, we're going to turn those unruly kids over to Levi.
There we go.
And we're going to make him captain. And we're going to let him straighten them out for us. Commissioner Terry.
Well, I just want to congratulate the winners of the Spring Residents Pride Awards. I drove by all the homes, and they really look nice, and they're a beacon in their neighborhoods. Also, to congratulate the Friends of the Parks for raising the money for the Pitzenbarger statue, and it's going to be so inspiring and exciting to see that go up, and to a real hero who was from our community. And also, we'll congratulate Cliff and wish him a happy birthday tomorrow. Many happy returns. I see that the recycling, which I was interested in, is going well. And I am now on the Thursday day, which is the largest generator of recycled matter. So now I'm happy to be in a winning group rather than being in the losing group. So I guess I'm good not being on Tuesday anymore. I don't understand about that. The Taste of the Arts was great over the weekend, and I'd like to let everybody know that there's a watercolor show going on at the library until the end of the month, and it's from 12 to 5 each day until May the 30th, and come down to the library and take a look at the watercolors exhibited from all over the place. I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Judith.
And thank you, Levi, for doing what you're doing.
Yes. Commissioner Martin.
I'm going to keep it simple and short.
Okay.
It is a good time to be in the city of Piqua now.
Great.
There's a lot of things happening and things are progressing, so this is a good thing.
We've got so many things on the agenda, folks. You wouldn't believe the things that are going to happen in the next months here in the city. And much of it can't be released yet, but we're very, very excited about what's on the table here in the city. You will be too. Commissioner? Oh.
Happy birthday, Cliff. Thank you for your gracious contributions to this city. Couldn't do without you. On another note, the bicycles. Really nice to see them around town and riding. And Jim, I don't think this is your group, but there's a bunch of bicycles out there that don't stop at the stop signs. And, well, I wish they would learn the rules of the road. And that gentleman at South and Downing, that gesture that you give me this morning was not the international peace sign. So, wise up, guys, and stop for the stop signs or we're going to have some problems. And I'm glad to see that our groups are coming together down at the gazebo and the square. That's what I had in mind all along, that little bit of presence and talking to the younger people in a nice tone of voice rather than a combative tone of voice will bring great success. And that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Well, really, I don't have much. I've said pretty much everything that I needed to say. I want to thank Cindy for setting in for Gary tonight. We appreciate you. You do such a great job for the city, and we always appreciate working with you. Again, happy birthday, Cliff. Have a great day tomorrow. We'll all be thinking about you, and thank you for everything that you've done for the city, you and your family. We have to include Joyce in on that. She's been a big part of that, and also Mimi and John. So thank you, Alexanders, for all that you've done, and will continue to do, I'm sure, because I'll probably call you again, unfortunately. But anyway, I think that concludes our meeting for this evening. If I could have a motion to adjourn.
So move. Second.
All those in favor signify aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Aye.
Thank you.